All right. Don't have any injuries for you. We came out, I think, fairly healthy, so that's a plus. I want to thank our fans. Appreciate them for hanging in the cold there and cheering us on, and they make a difference. Glad we have another home game here. No fans deserve it more than ours, so appreciate them. I thought it was a great team win. I love the mindset of the team. The way they came out. We got another big challenge this week with Tennessee, where mindset will be very important in how you go about this week's practice. We started off a little slow, obviously, shot ourselves in the foot, but nobody flinched. Everybody hung in there, got the problems answered and solved, and turned things around, which was important. There was no panic, and you get two good teams against each other, not everything's going to go right. So you got to make sure that you've got a good locker room and coaches that can withstand that and continue to teach. Listen, I mean, individuals or some real good individual performances. Frank Clark with the 3 sacks, I thought were unbelievable, especially the one where he chased him around, missed him twice, and came back and got him. That was pretty amazing. And then Kels and Pat and Tyron, I mean, they all played good football. I mean, Pat's energy and leadership, I mean, really showed in that game, and then he played lights out. So, but anyway, I could go through, and there are a number of people. Offensive, defensive line, I thought played well. I thought the back end had good communication. So when I mentioned Tyron, I mentioned that they had another chance for another interception there. I mean, he was right in position, and most of those he's gonna haul in there. So, but the fact that he was there, made some big plays down the stretch, I thought were big. So, anyways, with that, time's yours.
Andy, I understand that it's really early in the week, but what are your thoughts on Chris Jones and what chance he has of playing Sunday?
Yeah, I don't know that right now, Adam. We'll just have to see how he does. I mean, this is a day-to-day thing, and it was that way, after it happened the other day. So, we'll see how he does.
Just from looking at his on-field workout there a couple of hours before the game, it didn't look like he was anywhere close.
Yeah, he was struggling.
Was it a difficult decision in that regard yesterday with him, up or down?
Well, no, not that. I mean, he couldn't push off and go, so pretty easy decision right there.
Andy, with a player of his caliber, how do you try to get him to see the bigger picture, to not necessarily rush it or push more than you normally would, say if it was not the AFC Championship game, and how would you try to get him mentally to be as close as he could be for Sunday?
Yeah,
whether he plays or whether he needs to be sort of another assistant coach for you?
I don't know about the last part, but just to be
an encourager.
Yes, there you go. Just to be honest, I mean, that's the main thing. So, and he's done that. So it's as long as he's honest with it, that's what most of our guys do. So they shoot us straight, and then the doctors do a nice job. Rick does a nice job. So,
Andy, first half of the year, we asked you a lot about man-to-man defense. What's it taken from you guys, from you, the coaches, the players, to get to the progression that we've seen materialize on the field like yesterday?
Yeah, they did. I mean, they play us quite a little bit of man, almost every snap, and our guys have battled through it, and I think we've gotten better at releases. We've gotten better at working off of each other and with each other in certain situations, so which ends up being important in that. I think we've done a better job coaching it, so I'll take responsibility for that. We spent a lot of time at that, and the faults were my problem, and it really wasn't necessarily the player's problem or the coach's problem. So changed some things up and got it straightened out. Yeah, and this team's similar. Now they mix it. So Coach Pease, he'll throw a few different looks at you. So you got to be ready to go.
We didn't really talk much about this after the game yesterday, but you guys are playing this game here because of what Tennessee did on Saturday night. How well are they playing? What they've done so far in the playoffs?
Yeah, they're playing real good football right now, and they're strong. They're well coached. Mike does a nice job with them, and that running back's not a bad player. He brings it every snap. He's a big fella that can really move. Did it in college, does it now. Got a good offensive line, good receivers. quarterback's playing well. You know, he's you always like those stories when a guy didn't have as much success as he probably would have liked at one place, but comes here and he's got the guys in the championship game. Their defense is playing good football and flying around. So, and their special teams are good. So all the way around, it's a well-deserved team to be in this position. So we've got to make sure we have a good week of practice.
And you remember a game where you run out of fireworks, and is that lack of planning?
Yeah, I didn't know that till this morning. As a matter of fact, Ted just told me about it. But that I guess that's a good thing, one way or another.
You mentioned Frank Clark in the game he had. I believe he's had like 10 sacks since he came back from that shutdown mid-season with nerve. What did you learn about him the first year, this half of the season when he had that injury? And he says he was playing maybe 25%.
Yeah, well, he's relentless. I mean, that's on that one sack kind of tells you the whole story. When he was running around chasing him and missed him twice and got back up and sacked him. I mean, that's how he's wired. So, and then he works at it. I mean, every play at practice, he's that way.
Andy, I was watching the TV copy of the game, and it seemed like at one point you guys got down a pretty healthy margin. You might have taken a step back, and it was Eric kind of calling the plays from the sheet. I'm curious, like, am I right about that? And if so, like, what led to that decision? How long did it last?
Yeah, Eric and I talked through all the plays, and so. And he's the one that gives them to the quarterback with the headset. So we go through every series and talk through it and make sure we're on the same page, which ends up being very important.
Coach, for the guys who were here last year, just how do you feel like last year's experience in the AFC title game will help them this week preparing and then once they get out on the field on Sunday?
Yeah, listen, for the guys that were here, I think they understand that, it's different every level you go up in the playoffs. So there's a certain preparation that you need. I didn't feel like the guys were happy about the result of the game, but not to the point where they didn't realize that there's another week coming up here against a real good football team. So, nobody was in there doing backflips over this last game. They understand what they've got ahead of them.
Andy, after being passed over in the end, just a quick follow-up. What was your advice to him? I know you guys do talk a lot. Like, what did you say to him?
Yeah, just, really keep being you. I mean, we all know what he's all about and how good he is. And so I'm saying this just as much as the coaches were disappointed for him, the players were too. So I think that probably says everything. The players, they know they're around him every day and know what he's all about, and and they have that kind of respect for him.
One more quick follow-up, Coach. I'm sorry. It seems like since you've been here, there's always a question about like who's calling plays and like how did this get happened? Like at some point, does it all seem a little kind of goofy to you? Because it's the same thing, right?
Yeah, we all. Everybody has an opportunity, for input that's in that position, and so that's how we roll. And we all check our egos at the door, and if you got a good idea, we're rolling it. And so, that's helped with our success here. So, whether it's Doug or Matt or any of the guys that have been here, they've all had input, and have been able to put their name on a play. And so EB's done that just like the other guys have done it. But that's I think that gets I can use myself as an example. I never called a play till I got here, but Coach Holmgren would leave it open and ask you for an idea. You're talking about a future Hall of Fame coach here. So and I know Bill Walsh did it the same way, likewise. So that part hasn't changed here. So,
Andy, Damian Williams has been more productive in the last few weeks than he'd been earlier in the season. Is it just a health thing with him, or is there something else going on there? It's allowed him to be more productive.
Yeah, well, it was just a health thing, and then he was banged up, so and now he's healthy, ready to go.
Maybe a blessing in disguise that he didn't get a ton of work earlier in the year at this point of the year?
I don't know about that. He's a strong kid, so I mean, he would have been okay either way.
Coach, with the changes and added attention to championship week, and you have experience with this, what's the underlying key to just keeping the team grounded and giving all the attention and maybe the routine change a little bit?
Yeah, well, you understand there's going to be more of this. I mean, we all know that. So, and then you just stay focused. You eliminate distractions and stay focused on the job at hand. You know you're playing a good football team, and we try to keep the schedules the same, the times and all that the same. And then how they handle when they have media obligations, they do it, but get back and get on the football part of it.
A couple more guys.
Andy, I remember when your guys' winning streak was starting to get on a roll, what you thought may have occurred after the loss to Tennessee, and the fact that there was, mistakes on every level of the team, offense, defense, special teams. With that in mind, what do you try, I guess, what's your philosophy when you see an opponent that you lost to in the postseason, much like last week with Houston? Do you want players, I know you say show your personality, but do you want players to sort of be motivated by that, or would you like them to be more specific to just what the understanding is that's necessary to win that particular game on that particular day?
Well, I want them to be real about what happened. I mean, we lost the game. So, I mean, and then why? Let's figure that part out. And then work to fix that problem. And so we do that every week. And no different than when we played Tennessee before. They beat us. I mean, they beat us in 3 different phases. So, I mean, they're a good football team, and we've got to do a better job than that.
Andy, when you mentioned Pat's leadership, before you guys drafted him, was there any instance that jumped out at you that you knew that was a quality that he had, that you had seen maybe talk to him?
Yeah, well, you could see. Yeah, I mean, I know his head coach, and so I was able to talk to him, and I had Mike Smith on the staff, who was their defensive coordinator, so I talked to him. Brett Veach, started watching him his first play on, and saw him, during when he'd go to the games, and you'd see him during warm-ups and how he handled the guys, during the game, how he handled the guys. And so you had a pretty good idea that he was a good leader. I mean, those are things that he showed in college. You're hoping it would carry over. And you can kind of see that even his rookie year, when the way he worked with Alex. Easily, here's our first round pick. He could have tried to get in there and grind on it, and I'm better than he, and all this stuff. He never did that. And matter of fact, he took the things that and took the back seat there and learned from Alex, which that doesn't always happen. And there's some leadership that's involved in being able to do that, have enough confidence in yourself. And the players saw that.
Last 3, Therese, Adam, and then Herbie.
And I saw that you addressed Daniel Sorensen's big special teams play yesterday. I'm just curious, I know you come back, you watch the tape. Now that you've seen it again, what do you think? Hey, how good of a special teams play was that compared to some of the great ones you've seen in your career? Second, what do you think made it? What made it that? Like, what made it great? What made it work?
Yeah, so Dave does a heck of a job coaching. You just saw 2 of the best special teams coaches over how many ever years going against each other. So, I mean, that was kind of a unique situation there. But I thought Dave did a nice job of coaching them. But it's different when your juices are going, you're on the field, that now you got to pull back and you got to make that play. And you're the only one. It's man on man right there. It's a little different deal in space. So that's why I complimented him for it. Easily. I mean that. And listen, I see why Bill did what he did, and I said that too yesterday. And they stay aggressive. That's one of their things, and they have so much success with it. But that play was about that far from being a big hitter, and it was all on Dan. So, yeah, he made a nice play.
Adam.
Andy, I asked you this a couple times last year when Pat was just kind of getting started, but now that he's been going for a while, I wanted to come back to it. You ever catch yourself in the middle of a game like he was having yesterday and say, this is pretty good here, what this guy's doing?
Yeah, I'm just looking for the next thing to let him be pretty, try to find what's on that game plan. So I don't have enough time to think about that. I do afterwards, though. Afterwards I go, he did a heck of a job. Special guy. So we're all lucky to have him, right? Kansas City's lucky to have him.
Last one, Herb.
Coach, back to Daniel Sorensen. Over the last month of the regular season, his snaps started increasing, even with a healthy Juan Thornhill in there. How much of that was opponent-driven, and how valuable is it to have a guy like that who can be a hybrid linebacker and also maintain his responsibilities as a defensive back?
Yeah, I think that's it gives Spags some flexibility within the working his scheme. So, and he's got confidence in Dan. I think all the guys have, all the guys do. So he's a tough kid, and there's nothing real flashy. He just, he's solid. So, it's but it gives Spags some flexibility, and he's inside the majority of the time at that linebacker spot. That's a tough position to be in, but he does it well. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay, guys.